On this week's show, The Art of Brevity. This and not much more on episode 129 of the Inside Infinity podcast. Do you like Disney as much as we like Disney? Of course you do, or you wouldn't be listening to an Infinity podcast. Well, if you do, you should head on over to MediaMeltdownPodcast.com. Check out the Mousecast, a bi-weekly podcast about all things Disney. Their most recent episode discussed Zootopia review, news, and Steve C's trip report. Check them out, MediaMeltdownPodcast.com, and look for the Mousecast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Inside Infinity, episode number 129. Recorded, what's the date today? March 23rd, 2015. I'm one of your three hosts. You see our names down there at the bottom. Will, to my right, is none other than Lim, a.k.a. at Bad Gamer Official. Lim, how you doing tonight, buddy?
What's up, everybody? I love the art of brevity.
You like that? I was kind of proud of that one. I surprised
really
you guys with that one. We have a short show ahead of everyone tonight, but it's all right. It's still going to be a great show. That other handsome man you see on screen is none other than Lloyd at Dasme. Lloyd, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing fine, and I want to say see you next episode, everybody. We're done for this episode. Later. Oh wait, it's not quite that brief.
Not
but
quite.
It's going to be a short show.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep. Yeah, not quite that brief, but yeah, like you said, Lloyd, there's not a whole lot going on in the world of Infinity. I think, they kind of spent themselves over the last couple weeks. It's our show's going to be small, like that guy on screen right there.
Small like Ant-Man.
Small like Ant-Man. Unless he's playing in the playset, then it's big like Ant-Man.
And barely visible.
And barely
Oh
visible.
my goodness. There you go. Bringing it around. I love it.
Wow. I am terrible, and I'm really disappointed in myself, and I'm going to go.
The beauty of shows where we have little to talk about is we get to fill that dead air with just randomness. And so that's what's happening tonight. Vision's creeping me out. He's grabbing for me. I'd like to welcome everyone in the chat. I am not Canadian, which means apparently I'm not that nice. So I'm not going to mention everyone's in the chat, but I am going to show some shout outs. Blue Blur, welcome. Justin, how you doing tonight, buddy? Filtered Reality, good seeing you. Gavin Finity, love the name. Keno Banker, welcome. Jen Allen, Miss Kip, shout out, and Rella Dex. Lots of others in there. Appreciate everyone who's joining us live tonight. If you want to check us out live, you can do this each and every Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, or Mountain Time, depending on the whole stupid time change. Head over to twitch.tv/Disney Infinity TV. While you're there, also check out our partner network, twitch.tv/Res TV. We just had a Lego show just a few minutes ago, right before recording this show. So if you like video games and other forms of Toys to Life gaming, you should definitely check them out. But thanks again, everyone who's joining us tonight. Like I said, we not a whole lot to talk about. We're still going to have a fun show. So with that, gents, what do you think? Should we just go ahead and get things started?
Let's just go right into it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So
before we get started, sorry to interrupt, Will.
No.
I wanted to say a huge thanks to everybody for letting me host last week. And I didn't get any hate in the YouTube comments. I fully expected a flood of YouTube hate, but there was none. So I was quite shocked and quite happy at that. So it was a fun show that we did last week.
yeah, man, I apologize. Actually, you guys did great. We tried something different, and from a production standpoint, I think it worked out really well. And the three of you, including James, who co-hosted a weekend show with you, Lim, Getting Up with Geeks every Saturday morning. Check that out. It's a a comic show. Comics past, present, and future. So thanks to James, and you guys did awesome. It was awesome, kind of like, because the way it worked for those, here's the man behind the curtain type thing. The way we did it last week was the three of you were on screen, but I was in the video chat with you guys. So like I could do what you always do to me in the lead-in. I could make funny faces at you. I could laugh at comments. Lloyd could ask me questions, and I could just ignore him, which is always fun to do. I can't do that when we're live, so Lloyd, great job kind of like running things, and Lim and James, you guys did awesome with the content. So, and I'm actually kind of excited we're doing this show because I get to say some of the things I didn't get the chance to say last week. So I'm excited to talk a little bit more Marvel Battlegrounds tonight.
Yeah.
So good job, and thanks for not sending Lloyd all the hate mail. He's too nice for that.
I said everybody's name last week, so maybe that's it.
Yeah.
That's the trick.
Who's this Daniel guy you kept referencing?
What's that? Daniel was great. I love having Daniel on the show.
You're like, you did look at me funny when I thanked James a minute ago. You're like, James was here? Where's James?
I was gonna make a Daniel joke, but I didn't. But it was so funny. It was like in the pre-show, Lem saying Daniel once, like, "Oh, I called him Daniel by accident once," and I'm like, "Do not say Daniel. Do not say Daniel. Do not say Daniel. Do not say Daniel." It's like the Simpsons. It's like, Homer, go get me this from the store, but don't get this. It's like, don't get this. Don't get this.
Yeah.
Get this. That was exactly what it was like for me.
Oh, that's too funny.
My poor brain.
That's all
my
right.
poor brain.
You were yeah, you're moderating, so you get a pass. And James not here to defend himself, so even more so of a pass.
You are getting some hate in the chat though, Will, for not saying everybody. Just so you know.
So, yeah, for not saying everyone's going down the list. Yeah, that was cracked me up. Not because you prefaced it, but yeah, it took you a good like 5 minutes to get through the whole list. So we're gonna have to have you host more often just so you can mention everyone's name.
I don't know. The last time I did that, I said an oops. I said someone's name who I wasn't supposed to say that was watching us, and I kind of went quickly past it without mentioning it again. But that was didn't happen last time, so that was good.
Too funny. All right, boys. Well, let's go ahead and get things started. Before we get started about the one news item we have, I want to mention again we have 6 days left. So head over to res.tv/contest. That's all you got to do. And we'll be tweeting this out in the next couple days. Lim has it there on screen. I'm going to... what? There's 2? So we have a series of contests we're going to be running. This one is for the... I'm going to bring up the actual contest screen on screen here. This is actually for the single playset, the Marvel Battleground playset that Lim is holding up right there. You can enter lots of different ways following us on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. And so again, just head over to res.tv/contest to be entered in that. It's an awesome stuff. It's just a little bit of a thank you for all of your support out there. And so we're running 3 contests. The next one we're going to do, we don't have specifics yet on how we're actually going to be giving it away. But the next one, Lim has it on screen, is going to be the Marvel Power Disc that just released with the Marvel Play Set. And then after that, that's going to be kind of like the interim giveaway. And then Lloyd throwing up on screen here, if he can fit them all on screen. So it's kind of like, it's like the big Mamma Jamma. We got the Play Set, we got the Marvel Power Disc. We have Black Panther, which, Lim, I actually cannot wait to talk to you about in this week's episode. And then Black Suit Spider-Man. So lots of really cool stuff to give away. So be on the lookout. We'll be giving all these items giving them away over the next couple weeks. And the ways to enter will be different each time. So again, that's res.tv/contest. That will take you to the most current contest we have. So thanks for everyone who's entered, and if you haven't yet, make sure you head on over there. Cool, boys. Next item, and it's really the only kind of news item. It's kind of a spoiler. It's kind of a leak, kind of, not really. We have leak rules. You may have noticed we didn't talk about one on last week's episode, but this has to do with some things that Disney themselves teased. So this is your warning. If you don't want to hear about, I don't feel like this, we discussed it before the show. We don't feel like this is propagating any kind of malicious info out there. This item is coming at you from infinityinquirer.com. Bringing it up on screen. Retailers list Alice Through the Looking Glass figures, plural. So that is your first giveaway, and then an additional Pixar figure. So again, turn away if you don't want to see what's coming up on screen right now. Not coming up on screen, Lim?
for me.
Yeah,
but
it's coming. It's coming. So this is from Belgium retailers and Amazon Japan. So basically, it says that two of the characters we're getting for the Alice items. We still don't know exactly what it's going to be. And then the additional Pixar figure is a single character. So that's not really giving anything away, but it does tell you what the two Alice figures are going to be. With that, again, you've had your spoiler alert. If you tune out for another 5 minutes or so, gentlemen, what do you guys think of both of these two characters? The Alice figures first. What are you excited about? Who they are? And kind of the leaked images. We didn't bring them up on screen, but they have been out there a little bit. And that was from the patch, so that wasn't even a leak either.
Right. To be honest, I'm not crazy excited about Alice in Wonderland. That's just me.
Okay.
If only because I like the live action movie so much, and unless they do it as well as they did Pirates,
Yeah,
I'm gonna have a problem. Just because I do really like the movie.
You like the live action movie or the anime?
Yeah,
really
the live action movie.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it, and unless it's done as well as they did Pirates, with the voices and the actions and such like that, I'm probably going to have a problem.
Now, are you referring to if it's a playset or the figures themselves?
Just the figures themselves.
Okay.
The detail that they put into Jack Sparrow alone, was just amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that it won't be like a glossed over version. I mean, you've got Jack's compass. Jack's compass is on him, and all the detail on the jewelry and all that. So I'm a little wary of the live action turned into Infinity.
Yeah. Did you like the Maleficent figure?
Oh, I love the Maleficent figure.
Yeah.
I thought they did a great job. That's an example of how much can we do with black.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
I mean, I think they did a great job with that. So I'm hoping that they stay on top of their game.
Totally. What about you, Lloyd? Do you, from the leaks figures, A, do you like who the figures are, and B, are you excited kind of about the way they've looked so far?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. It's kind of interesting because this was leaked earlier through retailer stuff. Mm-hmm. We didn't cover then because we don't do that. We don't talk about leaks.
Oh no.
But Lloyd, this was hinted by what happened?
Oh, you're back.
Did you lose? Oh, okay. So this was actually leaked by Disney by putting it inside the patch and made you could see the characters because the little versions of them and the art mm-hmm. pictures that you can hang up in your interiors were there, which is kind of funny because it was leaked before, it hasn't been talked about, and then it was put right in the game and like put in plain sight, which was kind of funny. So that's why we're talking about it. I really do like it. I'm not a huge fan of Alice. I don't know. I love classic like animated Alice. Mm-hmm. So I'm not a huge fan of the look of that figure. I don't hate it, but I'm gonna wait and see how that character is in game and what it looks like. The other two figures look great. Like Mad Hatter just looks ridiculous, which is exactly what Mad Hatter should look like. And Time looks okay. Yeah. It'll be interesting to find out more of all these characters when they get closer to release.
Yeah, Cindy in the chat saying one looks like a creepy clown. Don't like.
Time's not that bad.
What's that?
The time's not that bad.
Yeah. So, Lloyd, you touched on something that it's comical at this point. So we finally gotten to the place with the game where they are okay, and it's now seeming to be a part of their process to patch content into the game. So that makes these types of leaks inexcusable unless it's coming out next week, or it's the stealth release where the figures are coming out at such a small amount of time between the Marvel stuff, which was the majority of the info in the patch, or at least that we know of so far, and then this stuff. So it's like, what? Why? Why didn't you just wait and do another patch? Because you're going to be patching things anyway.
Well, for a company that has had so many leaks and JV tweeting and just sounding so dejected in his tweets and getting up there and doing a tongue-in-cheek announcement for stuff that we already know, you think they would be so I don't know, careful. They would test things. They would look. They wouldn't want anything. Like they had when the game shipped, there was some spoilers for Zootopia, and so they went in and they patched that stuff out. And they're like, "Oh my God, how did this make it into the game?" But then for this patch to come out and basically just have the little mini versions of these characters, it's like, what are you doing? Like it's not in collection. They don't show up in the collection. They at least did that, but to have the other assets there is just like a. I did a little mini face palm when I saw that. It's like, oh, come on! Like I want every single Disney figure announcement from here on out. Otherwise, other than the ones that we know or the ones that are leaked on Craft Dinner, which is ridiculous. But anything after all that, I want it to be a total, absolute surprise because we find out everything months before Disney's ready to announce it, and it's just it sucks as someone that does a show. It sucks as someone that's a fan, and it sucks as someone that knows how hard PR works to keep on top of the message, and it hurts me. I die a little bit inside each time one of these things happens. So I hope we get surprised and we don't find out anything about any of the other characters because I really want it to be a surprise.
Yep, I agree. I'm gonna give a shout out here to Daniel Games at YT Daniel Games on Twitter. He tweeted us, and he was the first person that I saw this from. I guess there's kind of a roundabout way that you can see these additional the Alice figure pedestals in the Hall of Heroes, as well as some additional spaces. So I can't remember if we actually talked about that last week or not.
Nope.
Okay, all right. So shout out to him. He has a video on his YouTube channel, so just look up at YT Daniel Games. This Pixar character, guys, there's no indication whether or not it's an additional Dory or Finding Dory character. We have Good Dinosaur. I'm trying to think what is the next. Steve C, if you're still in the chat, what's the next Pixar movie that's coming out? Moana is Disney Animation, so it's not that. So, I mean, I would assume it's going to be another Finding Dory character. What do you guys think?
That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else unless
Toy
it's...
It's way too soon for that.
Yeah, unless it's characters that for a movie that we've already had stuff for, just additional Pixar characters to round it out. But I can't think of anybody that you'd want. Like you have all the Frozen characters. Rex, yeah, maybe.
That'd make Nick super happy.
One specific person very, very, very happy. But yeah, I guess it has to be the Dory stuff that it's on Craft Dinner. I mean, we can talk about it now, I guess.
Shout out to Pixar post in the chat. They're saying Finding Dory for sure, and they are the end all be all when it comes to Pixar. So I'm going. Oh,
they know Pixar. They know Pixar.
Cindy says Frozen.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it's Frozen.
That would be great.
Yep. That
I
is,
want the where is my super suit line? You gotta have the super suit line.
That is one of the most classically requested figures since the 1.0 days. And Lim, I even think you made a joke a couple weeks ago. You want all your Sam Jacksons in Infinity, so give you Frozone to round it out.
I'm honestly surprised that there wasn't a costume change disc for Nick Fury. That would have been amazing to turn Nick Fury into Frozone. That would just be so great.
I'm working on that custom.
Yeah. Are you really?
Yeah. Seriously,
oh man, that's awesome. Can't wait to see that. I'm sure there probably would have been Lloyd if I can just imagine the storm that Marvel would have caused if they tried to do that, but.
Totally, because I mean, Sam did all the voices for his in-game character for that, so it's not like he's not willing to give his rights over or whatever for his audio. But yeah, I guess maybe the whole Marvel stuff might prevent some of that from happening.
Yeah. Well, cool, guys. Well, that's literally the only news I'm. Like I said, there's not a whole lot going on these days, which is kind of nice. A little bit a calm maybe after the storm, since we had quite a bit of storm there for a little bit. We had the release last week. We had Infinity Next a couple weeks ago, and so now it's kind of downtime. What you got there, Lloyd?
To end it out, I'm actually really amazed how much I'm enjoying Baloo.
Yeah.
I really like this character in the game. I love Baloo as a character, but it just feels like he should feel. They did a really good job with the sculpt, with his facial animation, but just with him in the game. So if you guys have been on the fence about picking up Baloo and you need another character just to tool around the toy box in, they did a really good job, and it makes me want Tailspin stuff so much more. Just seeing how good they did the Baloo in the game.
Could you imagine the abilities that Kit Kat Cloud Kicker would have?
Oh my goodness. So
Cloud
good.
Kicker would be like Baloo plus Yoda.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, make it happen. And that's a perfect example of modifying existing content to give us some additional content. Like we've been talking about since year one, give us some Disney Afternoon stuff, and that would be a perfect way of you know what, they're pushing Baloo because of the Jungle Book movie coming up, but they could still add via, I don't know, Power Disc or whatever, some additional stuff. So
I'm actually I'm going to be picking up the Tailspin game for NES because that's one of the old Disney games that I don't own, and I want it. It's a terrible NES game. It's a terrible platformer. It's a shooter. It's not good, but I want to play Tailspin stuff so much that I found a copy that's for sale, and I'm going to go pick it up, and maybe I'll do some streaming of that once I get back from my little trip.
Heck yeah. Just to hear the an 8-bit version of the theme song.
Totally.
Oh, cool. Guys, if you don't mind, I'd like to I finally got to play, and I streamed it yesterday on the channel. I streamed Battlegrounds, and so the only thing I played is the single player experience, and I just had a couple thoughts since I didn't get to jump in the convo last week, if you don't mind.
Sounds good.
So first off, super short, you guys discussed that. It sounds like, from what you guys are saying, the challenge mode is where it's at. That's where you really get a lot of the replayability for, and a lot of the actual new and improved gameplay mechanics, because it's all kind of handed to you in the main story, which I was actually thankful for. It means I could just concentrate on the story and not have to worry about the changing power disc and stuff like that. Right. I was okay with the story. I don't know. It was so short. It was like, well, why even give it? Did you put a story in so you could call it a playset as opposed to a toy box game disc? Like the amount of resources that must have cost versus the delivery, the return on investment. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if the story I made up in my head by just looking at the back of the box was more in depth than what was delivered to me.
Yeah. I agree with you. I would have loved if there was at least like one of the fights would be different depending on which character you were playing as. So the final fight would have some voice from that character to give you more than just the thank you image at the end when you beat it. Like, do something a little bit different. Like I'm thinking back to like the original Street Fighter 2. Like you would play through 8 matches, fight the boss. Well, I guess 6 matches and then boss fights, and then you'd get a little like 3 image animation of kind of like the story. And anything like that would have been great. Like give us some background on all the characters, just something. But yeah, I enjoyed it, but like it was over in like 40 minutes. It took no time for me to play through it on the stream.
Yeah.
And you know it's short when I only die once.
Oh, that's great. That's our litmus test right there.
Yep.
That's amazing. Lloyd, I think you and I talked about this maybe off the camera last week. I feel like for the price that I paid for this, $20, because I bought it on sale. Sadly, you did not have this luxury, Lloyd, but $20 and I got a figure and what is essentially a really robust toy box game disc, limited to Marvel. And I feel like at that price point, perfect. I got more value than I actually paid for. But when you compare it to a $35 playset, even though it's 30 here in the US, so $5 cheaper than standard. Again, I haven't really cut my teeth on the challenge stuff, and I'm not gonna have the experience of local multiplayer. As a group, we're gonna do some experimenting with some share play stuff. Hopefully, we can do some streaming multiplayer that way. Maybe a team tournament.
You have to record. You have to record. We tried multiplayer. Lolo and I tried multiplayer stream, and yeah, it wouldn't work.
Bummer. Did you try after the fact though? Just playing it?
No, we didn't. No, we didn't try after because I had to get to work.
Okay. Well, we'll report back. That might be a YouTube series that we can start. But yeah, I don't know. I'll report back again. I'm glad that I had a reason to pull out my old characters. I did kind of like how they did the power disc though. I thought that was an interesting way to add some visual effects to it without. I mean, they're just basically overlays in a lot of way. Yeah. And then some stuff coming down from the top of the screen, but I don't know. I liked it. I'm for $20. I'm super happy with it. But yeah, the jury's still out total.
I agree fully. My only complaint with the thing, other than the story mode, I wish it was fleshed out a little bit more, is the fact that you have to unlock the characters every single time that you boot up the game.
Yes.
Because now I have my coffee table is covered in 3,000 little mini figures that I can't put away because my kids are going to destroy my shelf if I put their favorite character away. They're going to go hunt it down, and I wish there was some way to permanently unlock those characters with that. So
well, you know why they did it. I think we discussed that. It's because if I borrow all my friends for the weekend, I can just put them all down, and then I will never have to go buy another figure.
Yeah, which makes sense, except the fact that they have character rentals, they have free characters of the week, so they're already okay with giving you free plays of all these characters. You bought the play set, you spent your $30 on it, 20 depending, 35 depending on where you are in the world. It would be nice if you got access to that fighting game just without having to pull your characters out and put them down. Like I totally get why they did it, but this would be the one where the fact that you don't actually have your character on the base as you're playing with it, you'd think they would take maybe the one more step back is maybe don't look at the global unlocks that you've done in the game, but if you unlock it in that play set, it stays unlocked. And that would have been a nice little addition. Maybe that'll be patched in. I think there's like a fraction of a percent chance that will happen. But if they did that, the playset would be perfect for me. My kids could jump into it. They could fight each other for hours, and I don't have to have all my figures sitting out instead of on the shelf where I like to display them.
Right. What do you guys think of the challenge being where you unlock the additional toy box toys? You think that's a good way of doing it?
It's neat. I like it. I really do. I think like you said, that's kind of where the meat of the single player. So they did the story mode, and they're like, oh, this is way too fast, and then give you an option to play with the 20 some odd levels there. They're all kind of the same, but they throw different things at you. I like how if there's a lot of characters that you have to fight and defeat, you get like healed between a couple missions and stuff. So they did it really well. I wish there was more content that you would unlock, like when you played Toy Box, the Toy Box Racing, or the other one. There was always like some big set pieces that you could unlock, which were fun to put in your toy box. There doesn't seem to be that one cool, awesome piece that you could put in your toy box. It's just like, here's a box, here's a different box, here's a more different box than the other two.
I like the electric board.
Yeah, like there's cool things, but there's not that big, huge set piece. Like there's not the ice beast, and there's not the I don't know, what was the other one? The bridge that has all the other things.
Oh, the tentacle bridge.
Yeah.
Like those huge set pieces would be really, really fun. So
yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I love the way they did it. It was a really cool way to unlock the content that they give you for the toy box.
Cool. Looking forward to that. I'm definitely excited to have more time with this playset, and I don't know. I think big picture, I think it's kind of a cool thing, and hopefully, again, this is going to pave the way for this functionality and kind of Disney Infinity proper with all the other characters and properties as well. So, gentlemen, last thing before we kind of end the show, let's talk about the elephant in the room. I don't remember if you touched on this last week, but what do you think of this whole iOS/PC controversy? And I think as a group and as kind of community members that do a show about it, even though we're primarily console players, we dabble here and there. I feel like we do a pretty good job of objectively speaking on these types of things, especially given our backgrounds. Was it expected? Was it a surprise? Is it a big deal? I mean, I know I'm kind of setting up some flame activity here, but what do you guys think? I mean, just kind of like, we're not going to jump too deep into this, but just a little bit. What are your thoughts on this? Because it's caused quite the commotion in the community.
Well, yeah, I think. Sorry, Lem. I think that the PC and iOS versions totally make sense. This is a multiplayer. There's a multiplayer fighter. It kind of sucks that there now is content out there that you can't use in your game. But if you're playing on iOS or whatever, or your PC, you're not really using a portal. So I can kind of understand that. To me, the biggest slap is for the Apple TV stuff, which was marketed as the full version. It comes with a portal. It was like we made a deal with Apple to have this huge download. Yeah. It's gonna be the full console thing in your living room on your Apple TV. And then the first extra content that comes out isn't supported by this. That said, I don't know anybody that has bought the Apple TV version, so maybe the reason why it's not being patched into the Apple TV is maybe they only sold thousands of them, not like tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands like all the other versions. Maybe that's it, but it'd be nice to see an explanation and some sort of a PR message about this, other than the stuff that was just in the forums or on Twitter. It seems like this is it's a very tone deaf way to handle a problem that is happening in the community, but more so it's a bigger issue to people that are just going to the store to buy stuff. Maybe they don't own a console, they bought an Apple TV, they see that Disney Infinity is available, they paid the premium to get it with the controller, and then now their kids can't play the Marvel Battlegrounds, which I know would make my kids really sad if all we had was the Apple TV version.
And that was a lot of the upset tweets I saw is more disappointment than anger. It's like, would have been nice to know that that's a specific tweet I saw, is someone was like, my daughter's going to be really disappointed. Amazon's going to show up with Baloo today and I don't get to play it on my Apple TV. And so that's super disheartening. Lem, you were going to say something.
Yes, but I wasn't going to be quite as eloquent as Lloyd, so I'm not going to say anything anymore.
Are you sure?
Once again.
No, my personal opinion, I would have liked to see the PC version live a little longer, just because I know a lot of PC gamers. Mm-hmm. I am very familiar with PC gaming, and they're going, my daughter's a PC gamer, not necessarily for Disney Infinity, but she's a PC gamer.
Yeah. And
that's a platform that I think should have been supported a little bit longer. Now, Apple TV, I know that the streaming devices, a lot of people, some of the other devices have games on them. When I first, good Lord, there's a game where you're a big ball and you're flapping around. I forget the name of it. But it's
no idea.
Your silhouette. It's like starts with a B. I forget what it is. Badlands.
Oh, Badlands.
Yeah, and I have it. I have it on my Amazon Fire Stick.
Oops.
Mm-hmm. And I can see that market for the streaming device games. I can see it, but not for something as robust as Disney Infinity, which I was surprised that the Apple TV was going to be able to handle. Disney Infinity, a full console version. Mm-hmm. When I heard that was what was going to happen, I thought, okay, is this going to be Wii U, not Wii U, but Wii all over again?
Yeah.
So I'm not quite as surprised or in any way or as disappointed about the Apple TV version. The iOS version, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Lloyd, I think you said it, and someone in the chat said at least give us the ability to use these figures in the toy box, which I think is absolutely should be the norm. Pixar Post is saying that it reminds them of what they did with the Vita. They pushed this brand new edition with its own base and this special figure, and it's all but been abandoned as well. And so I think the moral of this story is, if Disney announces a new platform, ignore it and don't jump on that bandwagon, because they've proven that a pretty poor track record of supporting those new additions moving forward, which is just really unfortunate because. Yeah.
It totally makes sense. Like if like the PC version, I'm sure has made Disney hundreds of dollars. Like the PC version itself can't be a huge purchase point for in-app purchases. That said, if you buy the physical character and you put your web code on the website, you could use that on the PC version, but there's no way for Disney to actively track that this person bought this figure and only used it on the PC version.
Yeah.
So you have the bean counters sitting in some accounting room trying to figure out what makes sense from a development standpoint. They'll be like, we made $50,000 on the PC port. It's going to cost us $200,000 to come up with a patch. So we're going to be spending four times the amount of money that we could possibly make by patching it. So I could see that happening. And the same with the iOS version. There can't be a lot of in-app purchases on that. But the Apple TV version itself was the full game. It wasn't tied into the web codes. It wasn't anything. It was announced at an Apple event. They came out and they said, this is the full version. You're going to get console quality stuff on this new device. And for it to be forgotten so quick it just has to be a big smack in the face of those people, which I'm glad. Like, I was so tempted to buy, like, I have an Apple TV sitting on every TV in my house. That's how we stream our video. That's how we do our Netflix. And I was tempted to buy one of these and buy the Disney Infinity version so I could have Disney Infinity on the upstairs TV as well for the kids. And I'm really glad that I didn't, and I'm not going to, even if it's on sale, because the stuff that the kids want to do, beat people up in Battlegrounds, that's what they want to do in Disney Infinity now.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to do it. And it really is, it's a shame. I really hope Disney does come out and issue an announcement, maybe on the next Toy Box TV, maybe a press release, maybe something, because we kind of understand what they did and why they did it, but it would be nice for them to explain it to the people that maybe aren't so clued into the industry.
Yeah.
And I just can't imagine being like working in a store and having a mother coming in with crying kids saying, this isn't working on my game, why not?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, which version do you have? Apple TV. And it's like, sorry ma'am, that blue isn't going to work.
Yeah.
You can't play Ant-Man, you can't do this. I guess Ant-Man would work because that was patched in the game, but blue wouldn't work, and the Battleground stuff wouldn't work. So I don't want to be anywhere near crying kids because of something that they really, really want and they can't do when they thought that they could. Like, disappointing kids is kind of the worst thing in the world.
Definitely.
So hopefully this is addressed.
Yes, sir. I agree. Well, cool. Hopefully it shakes out. I think that it's become apparent to them that it's a bigger deal than either maybe they hoped it went away and was kind of swept under the rug. But I think it's become a big enough deal that they're going to have to eventually address it. So they've alluded to news coming about it officially, whether or not they continued support or not, who knows. But time will tell, like many things with Infinity. So.
Yeah. The funny thing is, if you open up the iPad version of the game, you're getting a Marvel Battlegrounds ad for the longest time, which was it was so tone deaf it was crazy. There were so many things that just made me shake my head about this whole thing. So
that's awesome.
I'm sure it will be it'll be sorted out in time, and we'll have an official reason for it. But yeah, it's tough.
Too funny. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to wrap up this week's show. We still managed to talk for 40 minutes when we had nothing to talk about. So we're just long-winded like that, I guess. So that's all right. I love it. People tune in to hear Infinity discussions, and we make sure to bring it to the masses. So, Lloyd, my friend, thanks again for joining me this week, and thanks for kind of running the show last week.
It's a lot of fun.
Really good.
It's definitely a lot of fun. Thanks for having me again, Will. I love co-hosting this with you. I won't be on next week's show. Most likely, 99% chance that I will not be on the show next week. So I'll see you guys in 2 weeks' time. But yeah, if you want to see other stuff that we're doing, head on over to res.tv. Check out all the stuff on the Res TV network. We're posting a whole pile of content there every single week on our YouTube channel, res.tv. It's great. So do check that out. If you want to talk to me and let me know what you think of all the content that I produce personally, you can do that on Twitter. I'm at Dasby on Twitter, and I'd love to chat with each and every one of you.
Awesome. Mr. Philia, where can people find you on the internet?
The way you can find me personally is at Bad Gamer Official on Twitter and Bad Gamer Official on Instagram. On Instagram, I do a lot with DisneyInfinity.tv. I do some with Res.tv. One of the things that we're doing right now is with our very own Heather, Legendary Cochinos 24. We're doing Aware Gamers. We're helping promote the autism awareness fundraiser auction that she's doing. And it's worldwide. We've got U.S., we've got over in the U.K., our buddy Dan Power's actually doing one for Australia.
Nice.
So
that's awesome.
It's pretty cool too. Yeah, check it out. # Aware Gamers.
Awesome. That's a great cause. So it's really cool that you and her are you're involved with that, and she's doing that as well. So that's super awesome. Lim, good job last week on using your geek cred and your comic knowledge to talk Battlegrounds and to talk some of the figures. Oh, yeah. I want to have a conversation with you about Black Panther. I read a history about him this evening, actually, and in that single article, he instantaneously became a new favorite of mine, new favorite character. So,
absolutely, dude.
I know you're well versed, so I want to talk to you about that.
All right.
Yeah, make sure everyone checks out your new show that you started. You've had 2 episodes so far.
3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 episodes on Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We've had 3 episodes of Getting Up with Geeks. Me, James from iHeart Infinity, and Seth.
Awesome.
And we get up really early. We talk comic books, and it's a lot of fun. We just sit back and just geek out over comic movies, comic books, comic cartoons.
I love it. Yeah, you guys, I love the way you framed it, because it's just a cool way of approaching the topics.
Yeah.
So
the past, present, and future.
Awesome.
That's who we are.
And you do your morning stream, so everyone should just make sure you're following us so you get those notifications in the morning. I love seeing people jump into your streams in the morning, and you do some guest streaming gameplay with people as well. So that's always fun.
Yep. And if you, we're going to be eventually kind of changing it up just a little bit. Will and I are going to discuss how we're doing that. But we still will definitely have some guests coming on. Oh, good Lord. I can't remember who is next. Oh, next week is, I think, on the 26th. I'm 99% sure that Daddy Cochinos is coming on.
That'll be awesome.
Joey is a riot. So I'm 99% sure that's who it is.
Awesome. Cool, man. I can't wait to see that. That'll be a fun stream.
Oh, yeah, he's Mr. First Place. He wins at everything.
That's great.
He's the anti-lem.
The anti-lem. Oh, Getting Up with Bad Gamer and Good Gamer. Awesome gamer.
Yes.
Cool. So yeah, we do some morning streams. But a new thing we have, check out res.tv/cal, CAL, for our streaming schedule. And that's both for Disney Infinity TV and Res TV. We have, depending on the week, 5 to 7 days of primetime content. Or 5 to 7 days of streaming content if it's not prime time. So we have your streaming schedule figured out. So if you're interested in what we're doing, we do Infinity, we do Lego, we do just general gaming, we do What's Hot. We try to keep them mostly family friendly, so it's good for this audience as well. So head over to res.tv/cal, CAL, for calendar to look at our streaming schedule. You can find me below at iLiam. That's my Twitter. And yeah. I think that's going to be it, boys. Thank you so much. This is a great show.
Awesome sauce.
Cool. Thanks, everyone who's watching in the chat. We appreciate it. And if you're not watching, thanks for listening to us or subscribing to us on iTunes or watching us on YouTube after the fact. We appreciate everyone who watches what we do. Without you, we wouldn't be doing this. So thank you very much. I think that's going to be it. One more week of Inside Infinity. And until next time, we hope your week is filled with infinite possibilities. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Inside Infinity podcast. If you like what we do, please follow, subscribe, like, do all those things you do on the internet these days. If you want to support a little bit more, push that support a little bit further, check out patreon.com/DisneyInfinityTV. With your help, with our help of our patrons, you can become a Hall of Heroes. It's that scrolling banner at the top of the screen throughout the entire show. It helps us keep the lights on. It helps us do what we do and present the show to you. So thanks to all our patrons and just thanks to all you out there. Also, like we said, check out our parent network, Res.TV.